From Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, to the Twin Towers, to the Big Three, to the rebuild, to now. Is this really my favorite Spurs team? Is it yours?
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you had a great weekend, and I did a lot of thinking over the weekend. Is this really my favorite Spurs team? I'm actually going to answer that now. The answer is yes, but why? David Robinson is my favorite player of all time. Shouldn't it be one of his teams? Well, we're going to take a trip down memory lane from the past to the present and see if we can make sense out of this. And of course, while I'm doing this, I'm very curious, what is your favorite Spurs team of all time? Let's get into, we'll start with eras, if you will. 90 to 97. David Robinson is one of the best players in the NBA. Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, a scoring title, MVP. However, limited playoff success, very frustrating as a Spurs fan. In a 96-97, David missed almost the entire year. Sean Elliott missed a bunch of time, and they were a lottery team. But for the most part, they were very successful. And I do want to note, Spurs fans, during this time frame, my connection to the team was watching playoff games, which were almost always televised, the odd regular season televised game, ESPN highlights, reading magazines, and the local newspaper. Matter of fact, I've talked to you guys about this in the live stream. I still have it. I'm going to show it right here. This is the clipping from my newspaper when David dropped his 71. It says, at Los Angeles, David Robinson, in a supreme effort to win the NBA scoring title, became the fourth player in league history, only 4 back then, to surpass 70 points when he had 71 versus San Antonio. He finished with a scoring average of 29.787, beating Shaq. And then on the back, I have the actual box score there. That is how I followed the Spurs. I got online in 1997. And of course, things would change for the Spurs as they drafted Tim Duncan. And we now have the Twin Towers era. And what a time. Our first championship. Tony and Manu joined the team. We get our second championship. David Robinson retires a champion. Could I ask for a better Cinderella storybook ending for my favorite player of all time than to go out an NBA champion? I absolutely love this era. And while it's frustrating to see Lakers do what they did, three-peating during this era, this was a absolutely fun time. But not one of these teams, surprisingly. Then we get to this reign of terror for the NBA. What a run. 3 more titles during the Big Three era. Amazing. Heartbreaking loss, of course, to Miami. Not going to disregard that. But then we had revenge with the beautiful game where I believe it was the largest margin of victory for the winning team in an NBA Finals. Yes, we gave them a gentleman's sweep. They won 1 game, but then we win by like an average of 20 plus in the 4 wins. What an incredible era. All the 50-win seasons, the playoffs, just amazing. And then things would change. A lot for the Spurs and me. First for the team. Duncan, Ginobili retire. Tony, I hate that, makes me sick saying this. Tony Parker goes to Charlotte for 1 year. And Kawhi is traded. It's a lot of changes for the team with the Big Three gone. The guy they thought they were passing the torch to leaves. And then for me, a lot during this time too, Spurs fans. I finished my degree. I moved from Virginia to Connecticut. I sold and bought a house. 2 relationships ended. Mama TSR passed away. Got my state job, which will be my last job. So with so many life changes, honestly, this is the least amount I followed the Spurs during this time frame. I was not connected to sports as much as I was previously. And when you guys reference stuff during this era, sometimes I'm like, huh? Because I was just not following the team as much at this time point. However, things would change in 2019. On April 5th, 2019, TSR Sports was created. And TSR Sports went through a lot of changes over the next few years, as did our San Antonio Spurs. Guys leaving left and right. Marcus Aldridge, Patty Mills, DeMar DeRozan, Derek White, DeJounte Murray. There's only one man standing from this picture that's still on the team, and that's Keldon Johnson, who was drafted literally a few months after the channel started. He's still here. And then in 2023, we drafted Wemby, and everything changed. I'm now going to go into the reasons, and I have 3, why this current Spurs team is my favorite Spurs team of all time. And yes, they haven't won a championship. They actually haven't even won a playoff game. They're making the playoffs for the first time this year, and that's part of it right there. The losing. I started becoming a Spurs fan in 1990, and aside from that one anomaly of a year because of injuries in 96-97, which of course benefited the Spurs, that was the only losing season. All I've known now on this channel is losing from 2019 up until last season, the last 6 seasons. And I've watched the team grow and change and overcome obstacles such as last year, the Wemby scare, Pop's healthcare, a coaching change. So many things went wrong. While they went right with, getting Wemby, Castle, Harper, etc., bringing in De'Aaron Fox, a lot of things went wrong. And we hit rock bottom not once, but 2 times in this time frame. Is in the Keldon Johnson season. The Spurs lost 16 in a row, and then Wemby's rookie year, we lose 18 in a row. And all we see is bust and this, all the negative stuff towards Wemby, blah, blah, blah. He can't stay healthy. So much to overcome. And they did. And I never got to experience that with the other Spurs teams because Tim Duncan was always a winner. Robinson pretty much too, minus the injury year. So since that's such an asterisk, yes, he was always a winner too. So the Spurs were always a winning franchise until the rebuild. And I got to see the team come together and become something special and a contender this year. I got to see them grow, kind of like Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movies. I know this is a weird analogy, but in the first movie, he was just a pilot that got to use the Force at the end. In the second movie, hopefully you've seen the trilogy, and this should not be spoilers at this point. In the second movie, he loses. Luke loses to Darth Vader, and then he finally wins in Return of the Jedi. That's how I feel about these Spurs. They had to climb a mountain, and now they're getting on top of it. And that is such a journey to take with a team. As much as I love the Tim era, Tim was Rey Skywalker from the most recent trilogy. It's already great. Really didn't have much to overcome and overachieve, which just instantly great. A championship in his second year. Come on. And as awesome as that was, I never felt any lows, really. Yeah, the Kawhi trade was a low, but, never an extended low like we've had over the last few seasons. So that's what makes this team so special to me. And I think hopefully, or probably a lot to you too, is that we've gone through this rebuild and seen so much losing. And now we're winning. And it feels great. And it means so much more now that they're winning because they've had to get there. They've had to get better. They've had to adjust to the coaching change, to losing one of the greatest, if not greatest coaches of all time. They've brought in a bunch of young guys. It's been an amazing, wild ride and a roller coaster, and I can't imagine it. And I certainly can't imagine it without you guys, which is number 2, the Spurs community. Getting to talk to you guys and enjoy this roller coaster ride from the downs of whiffing on draft picks, players that we thought were going to be the guy getting traded or just leaving, your Lonnie Walkers, your DeJounte Murrays, your Jeremy Sohans, your Joshua Primo, seeing those, your Lucas Salmon, just seeing those guys come in thinking, oh, and then there they go. The only guys left from pre-Wemby are Devin, Vassell, and Keldon Johnson. And wow, I think they deserve a little more credit. We should do a video on them soon. But in getting to experience this with you guys, because I'm in Connecticut, as I mentioned, so I don't really know Spurs fans here. I know one now. We'll talk about that in a moment. But that has been what has really made this even more memorable, is watching the Spurs in the 90s, 2000s, and the 2010s. It was me. It was me in front of a TV. That definitely feels different than getting to talk to hundreds, if not thousands, during the live streams, enjoying or being frustrated with the game. And then last but not least, you guys knew this was coming, Miss TSR.
The San Antonio Spurs select Stephon.
Oh my god! You guys! You took Castle!
Having a co-host that's also my girlfriend, that enjoys the game, loves the game, is now a Spurs fan. She enjoyed seeing Wemby as rookie year, but drafting Stephon Castle, that obviously changed things. But she's now a Spurs fan, and that is awesome. Getting to call the games with somebody that's generally enthusiastic and cares about the team's success. You guys, one of you mentioned recently, I said apparently in 2020 in a video, and you guys pointed it out, it's like, man, I'd love to meet somebody to call the games with. And I did that. And that which also contributes to this Spurs team being my favorite. I know these are external factors, the last 2, but that roller coaster ride, you guys and her have made this experience more memorable than any other Spurs season or roster in my life. And I truly love this team, and I can't wait to see us win a championship. It is going to be awesome. That's all I got, guys. Drop a comment down below, your favorite Spurs team of all time. What do you think about the current Spurs team? Where do they rank? I'll see you guys live tonight for the Spurs versus the Heat at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hit the thumbs up if you like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.